Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Olsem Wanem. I'm Florence John Duo. Papua New Guinea is known for its rich and diverse cultural practices. However, with the pace at which PNG is developing, there is a great risk of these practices fading away as Papua New Guineans adapt to the modern way of living. One province that has stepped up to make sure their cultural practices and indigenous systems are passed on is Enga Province. Located in the heart of Wabek town is the Enga Taikanda Center. This center is Enga's traditional house of values. Establishing a traditional house of value is no easy task. It takes decades to build.
My name is Aki Tumu, and I am the director of the Enga Cultural Center, which includes this building we call the Enga Taikanda. The center was set up in 1976. And then successive provincial governments have been very helpful in maintaining the culture center. Then up to about 1984, I met up with Professor Polly Wisner, who's an anthropologist. She's a professor of anthropology at the Utah State University in America. We started work together to document the oral history of the Enga people. We thought it was going to be easy and short-lived. But as the work progressed, we saw that we could not stop, and so that we had to continue to cover the entire province because Enga is the only single biggest language group in the country. And so that project took us about 10 years. Research was completed around 1996, and the major oral history for the province was published. And when that book came out, it's titled Historical Vines. We saw that it was a big book. Many of our people would be too frightened or to read it. And so, and again, because the book was more or less a reference book. And we discussed how we might take or simplify what was in the book to a level where the people themselves can appreciate it and young Engans can learn from it. And that is when the idea for this building came up, the Taikanda. And what you see in the whole building here is what had accumulated over that research. Lots of former missionaries, government patrol officers have contributed, photographs. But most of the text and materials here is the result of that research work that lasted over 10 years.
The people of Enga are determined to ensure that their younger generations will not be detached from their cultural backgrounds. Spending time to learn and appreciate one's cultural practices and systems gives a sense of identity of where one comes from. According to Thomas Burke, to have no cultural and traditional background to your memories is equal to having no education.
We here in Enga have changed so fast. Lots of our traditional culture is slowly being forgotten. And so with a setup like this, it becomes an educational center for the people, the public, and where young Engans can come back and visit, look through, and learn about their culture, their history. And this place, its mission is to bring cultural education back to especially our young Engans and the public, because within that short span of time, 70 years, we see that our people are beginning to lose a lot of its culture, and history, especially our values and their underlying principles. These are what created society and kept them functioning as a human society.
The Enga Culture Building is rich with knowledge. Within this building, you will find artifacts, and also on the walls of this building, you will find information that is very vital, linking the Engan people to their traditional past. Some topics that you will find in the Enga Culture Building includes respecting women and their changing roles in the society, how to promote peacekeeping, and also climate change. You can also find feasting for the ancestors. You will find this in all walls in the building.
And these we feel that should not be forgotten. We should pass them on. And for that reasoning, for that purpose, the idea for a cultural education program came into mind, for which we are now working on getting that into the formal education curriculum.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. Enga is one province that is working towards preserving their cultural practices. In this segment, we continue to look at how they aim to achieve this. The Enga Taekanda Center has gone the extra mile by already having a textbook and teacher's guide ready for the integration of their Engan cultural education into the existing subjects in schools in their province.
Professor Polly Wisner has worked with us for over or nearly 30 years now. We are very fortunate in having someone like her working with us continuously. She comes back here 2 times a year. With her help, she has put together the textbook for this education program and also the teacher's guide. We have recruited 2 teachers, Leo Maso and Ruth. And Leo is a secondary school teacher, both of them. And so we are now training them, and they, as being professional teachers, we're working towards formally taking this program to the schools. And the major role they would be functioning is to lead other teachers. Give in-service services, training, teaching of this material here, of what is in the textbook.
Rotminapi is my name. I come from Enga. For the students' textbook, it was 30 years back that Professor Polly Wisner with our director Akitumu, they have been doing research 30 years back in our culture, Enga culture. And she wrote 3 books. One is known as Inside the Woman's House. It is all to do with women in Enga province and their tradition and their culture. And the second one is Historical Vine, all to do with Enga history. And the third one is the Teacher's Guide and the Resource Book. We developed the Teacher's Guide and the Resource Book out from those 2 books. And the resource book is ready now. It's under publication. And the teacher's guide, we are working on it. We are calling on primary school teachers and the secondary school teachers to come and evaluate on the questions that we set.
There's been some talk for a long time in trying to get cultural education introduced into the formal education curriculum. I don't know why anything further developed from that. Maybe because we are a country with about over 800 different culture groups. That is challenging in itself. Perhaps we can say that we've been able to start something like that and maybe move forward with it, because we are a single biggest language group, and the Enga people only speak one language. For us, I can say that we are lucky that we started when we did, because all the knowledgeable people that we interviewed to get what is in this building are all dead now. To know your identity, to understand your culture, and to appreciate it, and to know something about your history, where your people came from. That understanding helps you to chart your way into the future.
You're watching Olsem Wanem. A renewed interest in our cultural identity is also taking shape with a new craze that is picking up all over the world, coloring books. Jody McAllister is the creative mind behind this new concept, showcasing the artwork of Michael Kawage. Olsem Wanem's Judah Memafu with more.
There is a fear that because of the ever-developing world, we might lose our traditional identity. Modern times are all about progress, and while it has brought an easier, safer way of life, most times it makes traditional culture and way of life look very outdated. The Color Me PNG is a concept that brings the old and the new together. Launched at the beautiful Port Moresby Nature Park, Color Me PNG, the brainchild of Jody McAllister, features the artwork of local artist Michael Kawage in PNG's first ever coloring book.
My name's Jody McAllister, and I've been working with Michael Kawage for the last probably 6 months to develop the book, Color Me PNG. So it basically came around because I was looking for a local colouring in book to use with my daughter, who's climbing around up there, and my son, and I couldn't find one. So when I went to the market and I saw Michael's art, I thought, that would be a great way of building something locally.
Coloring has picked up interest with the older generations all around the world because of its relaxed and focused activity. Here in PNG, however, while that might not really be the case, it can be a tool to inspire the younger generation to appreciate the uniqueness of PNG art. Whatever the age group it attracts, Color Me PNG can be viewed as a different way to create and cultivate a new interest in our identity as Papua New Guineans. By introducing at a young age the beauty of traditional art, it can stimulate a long-term interest in our cultural heritage.
Me continue come since in up now 2015. So sla white myriad kam bungi mi na midla kama book. So now I'm book stop. Me proud of him. Me no suppose lo sanap live lo man. Me no bla school man. Me run away lo school. Me no bla school man because me no karom bla sawa blomite. Only way me got talent. Me to thank you big man osem. Me wanna send in me mem. Now I'm carrying pege blame me ama so sem. Me can carry name lo Papua New Guinea na Papua New Guinea can go lo not black country.
With a whirlwind of interest in coloring books all around the world, and with its very unique content of art, Color Me PNG should have no trouble finding a place of prominence on the world stage.
Such an opportunity gives us a different look at PNG art and showcases the diversity of Papua New Guinean tradition.